All right, welcome back to the Weekly Boost podcast. This is episode 58 of our show. Ben and I again back. We're getting some more guests in the works for you guys, so that way we have a little bit more of broader context of people coming on our show and whatnot. So for the meantime, we're going to talk about some stuff going on. Some pretty big, I don't want to say like sports seasons coming up our way. Something's already started, but for us today, we got something pretty cool going on. First time we're able to experience a football game at our school, a pretty big Division I school that is highly ranked. So it'd be pretty interesting. We're going to talk about some of that, as well as just some other things going on in our lives, just keep you guys updated, maybe learn some new stuff. If not, hear some old stuff that, keeps you updated. So, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, first game today for us. Football's back. I know now my mental health is going to be determined by a collection of players that I chose in a draft. So that's always a great, healthy thing to be going on. You're how many leagues are you in?
Two, one for fun and the other one kind of a more serious one. So
yeah, I could never, I don't know, for fun leagues. Like I feel like I wouldn't be as invested if I didn't have at least one league where more than just, bragging rights is on the line.
I know what you're saying.
I'm in a guillotine league with Michael, and that's going to be a fun league. So if you have the least amount of points in the week, you get cut, and then your players go on waivers, and then you can claim them there. So basically, don't be the worst every week is my mentality there. Exactly. And then my other one is I was pretty blessed with the running back core that I got last year. So now my team looks awfully much worse. But I guess we'll have to see. There's only been one game played when we played this or when we recorded this, and now it'll be almost everything except for the Monday night game. Who plays Monday night? The Ravens and the Raiders. Yeah, first week I plan on sitting on the couch all day and watching football Sunday. What about you?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I have a meeting at 6 p.m. Has to go over some stuff that I'm doing for a student graduate student government, kind of Senate thing. Other than that, I'm going to sit my lazy butt on the couch, and I think I might be purchasing NFL Sunday ticket just because I want to make sure that I can watch the Packers. Yeah.
Good thing your meeting's at during Sunday Night Football when the Bears play, because I know you're not a Bears guy anymore.
No, I'm
not even Justin Fields.
Just turned. He shows promise. I couldn't stand Mr. Trubisky, so it just kind of went downhill for me.
But you're a Bills fan. So how does that work?
Yeah. Well, Andrew's a Bills fan. You don't remember.
That's true.
We partnered with him, and he's been, the connection was made with my Sabres jersey. So the Buffalo thing, got a feel for that city, man. They get pounded by snow every year, and then their teams aren't just like powerhouses. So I don't know. They're like the lovable losers, I guess, but.
Yeah, hopefully
they did pretty damn well last year. So yeah, but I'm just super pumped for today because this is like, you know this too. You went to an undergraduate school where the football was like the biggest thing, but it's still like nothing in comparison to the amount of like spotlight that it gets because it's a small town in Wisconsin kind of deal. Like football is a big deal there, and it has every right to be. But like you look at like where we're at now. It's like a lifestyle for people, it's like, this is the heart of like football country for where it means the most to people. And it'd be kind of interesting to see this in live. It's like an NFL game, but not.
Yeah. I was talking to someone earlier I hadn't been to a college, all the Badger games I had been to was just working for fundraising for baseball. So everything, now it's be my first, and we'll see. They didn't play too well against Tulane last week, but you're right. Like the whole city kind of is tuned in and shut down. Even with like the softball run too that they went on. We were at a store during the Women's College World Series, and it was like, oh, like you pay that you watch a softball game, and like we weren't wearing anything, Oklahoma or softball related. So
Yeah.
it's a big heartbeat for the city down here at least, and
Yeah.
same can be said about a lot of places. But you're right, like outside of the Thunder, I mean, both of the affiliates for the Dodgers, Double A and Triple A, are here in Oklahoma. But it's a big deal.
It is. And like what I love to see is that you're exactly right about like the whole city rallying behind it, because like I'm not able to work at all tonight. Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't go in unless I had to, but they closed pretty much everything down. Like the streets around campus, the buildings are pretty much shut down because there's just so many people coming in to watch this. And it'll be interesting to see, how they manage. Because we didn't go to the Tulane game at home. But like, it'll be interesting to see how they do with like the kind of stuff going on right now, and just hopefully it's a good atmosphere, which I'm looking forward to it. But
yeah, like you said, NFL stuff, that's exciting too. I hadn't been to. Have you been to an NFL game?
I've never been to an NFL game. No.
Interesting. I went to a preseason game, but that was when I was really young, and at Lambeau, and that was indoors.
It was at the yeah.
No, it was in a suite, so you don't get the full Lambeau experience. So,
okay.
But yeah, another also exciting stuff with baseball. There's 20 games left or so. That's fun down the stretch, like you said.
It's crazy.
Did I say
like we've already got there?
Did I say a couple episodes ago, like anytime throughout the year you can spin to be like a really great time for sports?
Like right now, yeah.
Like you take like right now, let's say, right? You get baseball September down the stretch, football starting up, getting in full swing.
Yeah.
You could spin it any time, beginning of the baseball season, the hype around there. And then in February, you got playoff football and just really throughout. Yeah. In October, you got October baseball and hockey and NBA starting, and makes it interesting, especially if you're a sports fan, for sure.
Yeah. That's what I feel like. It's just a great time because fall's my favorite season. So like, it's kind of cool that this all culminates, and you get a bunch of things starting up, a bunch of things coming to an end, kind of a deal. And it ripens the mood of the season even better, right? Like it's synonymous with how the cycle of, our weather works. And so like fall is like the happiest for me. It just correlates with sports. So it's it's an interesting commentary, I guess, for, how it works. But
well, we did this for, oh man, I'm going to catch you right off guard with this. But I think it's fun to look back, right? Like, I don't know, we could do this with fantasy if you wanted, but let's talk NFL predictions just so we can be like roasted or, whatever. No games played besides the one with the Buccaneers and Cowboys right now. Let's make some predictions here and give the people the content they deserve and love.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with
predictions, right?
You want to start with the AFC?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go with the AFC.
All right. In the AFC East, you got the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and Jets.
Bills, they take it. I think they go 13-3.
Yeah, I like that pick too. Moving to the AFC North, Bengals, Browns, Steelers, Ravens.
Browns take it. Browns take it with a 11-5.
Okay. This isn't like super informed, right? Like we're just that's a disclaimer, right? Like
I'm
we're
just shooting from the hip with this, yeah.
Yeah. AFC South, you got the Titans, Colts, Jags, and Texans.
Titans take it. Addition of Julio Jones is going to be really good. So I'm going to say they're going to beat themselves up down there. So it's going to be like a really close, like win-loss percentage. They're going to be close to 500. So I'm going to say like 9-7, maybe 10-6 wins the division. Okay. I don't know, man. JT on the Colts is going to go off. I have a feeling he's going to have a good year.
Hope so.
But the addition of Julio the guy is just a stud. Like if he stays healthy, he does a lot for that team. Like he I don't know if I want to say single-handedly wins for the Falcons when he was on there, but he contributed a lot because he gets doubled a bunch and opens up numerous routes and a lot of yards and yards after catch for a bunch of other receivers.
Yeah.
So he's just a really good piece to have in the puzzle. And the Titans are pretty damn good with Derrick Henry. So, he's just gonna do his business, right?
Yeah, just feed him.
Yeah.
Let me look at. Okay.
I think those are pretty. For me, those are what I would pick, even if you didn't ask me right now. Like just top of my head, I'd pick those three.
AFC West with the Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, and Chargers.
This is going to be fun because I think the Chargers and Chiefs head to head is crazy. Like in the past 2 years, like I think they're either like split or the Chargers might have the advantage on the head to head. But I'm going to do Chiefs, take it, and they're going to do pretty well. I think a 13-3 is pretty safe for them. The Chargers though, they're just Justin Herbert. The kid could just throw the rock. I watched a couple of his games last year and the year before. They're just pretty good. So it'll be interesting to see that. But I think they'll put up a good match. The Chargers and Chiefs will duke it out pretty good. And no offense to the Broncos or the Raiders, but I think the Broncos' time has passed. I know Teddy Bridgewater is going to be pretty good, but Las Vegas just needs to do some other stuff right now. I don't know if they're doing the best. That's just my take. But
all right, let's move to the NFC East, the fun one.
Right. Yeah.
Dallas, Washington, the Giants, and the Eagles.
I swear every year, 3 of the teams finish below 500, and the team that finishes even or one game over is who makes it. And there's always like 4 ties, I swear, between the 4 teams. Like there's either like 2 or something. So, if Dak can stay healthy, I think he does a pretty good job. Brady, I got to admit, Brady and the Buccaneers are a really dangerous team. They have an excellent defense. I think close to everybody's returning. And so, like, I know they're not in that division. I'm just saying, like, after watching Thursday night's game, like, Dak did a heck of a good job with, coming back from his really gruesome injury and stuff like that and played excellent. And so I've always liked him as quarterback. I'm not saying I'm a Cowboys fan, but I think they win the division. But again, it's going to be a scrum. Like they're just going to beat the absolute heck out of each other. It's going to be close.
Yeah. I like Dak having a good year.
I hope he does. I really do
too.
Because like how he voiced his opinion on mental health is what his brother was going through and stuff. It was just, he deserves it.
I think Washington might win that division, but I think Dallas takes one of the 3 wild cards.
Okay.
I think it's 3.
Okay. I hope so.
Yeah. So NFC North. Homers.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm going to be a homer here, but I'm also going to have what's going to be great is for that wild card spot because I think Dalvin Cook on the Vikings he carries that team 100%. Like Kirk Cousins could throw for negative yards and Dalvin will still put them within range to win a ball game. Like that's how explosive he is. The Bears with Justin Fields, they still have a pretty good defense. They have a couple good wide receivers, and I think if Justin Fields gets the opportunity, he's gonna, put in the work. And Andy Dalton is. I'm gonna say he's probably the best backup quarterback in football. Like besides, like I don't even know, but he's pretty good. He started for the Bengals for the longest time, and then Joe Burrow came in and kind of sealed the deal with that. So Andy Dalton's got experience, but Fields will be interesting to watch. I think it'll be pretty explosive right away because he's more of a mobile quarterback. The Bears saw that a little bit with Trubisky, but I think Fields just has a little bit better of an experience being from Ohio State. And like they know they're a running gun offense. They know how to throw the rock and stuff like that, high explosive offense. So
I'm not going to say anything.
Gotcha. But I think the Packers take NFC North. And you want to know, I really want a lofty 14-2, but that's the top. I don't know what their schedule looks like. I haven't looked, but I know they open with the Saints on Sunday. But I think the Packers take that. I think it's going to be a good slugfest between the Bears and the Vikings for who gets the better seating in the wild card and whatever. But poor Lions, man. I don't know. I don't think Jared Goff is the move.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Green Bay as well.
And
I'm
that's a homer too, but
yeah,
it's fine.
for sure. But that's fine. I'm interested to see what wild card stuff shakes out. And again, now like I feel like if it wasn't for fantasy, I wouldn't be so locked into it around the
Yeah,
league. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a pretty obvious take.
yeah, pretty fair.
But the 49ers could make some noise in the wild card talk. The Rams and the Seahawks battle for the division and the 49ers for that matter. So yeah, I'm interested to see what it kind of looks like. Do you have like a favorite off the top of your head right now for Super Bowl stuff?
Super Bowl stuff. Um, I really want the Bills to win AFC. I really do. I want them to. I think they got a bunch of good players on their team. They could do it. They have good defense, good offense. Josh Allen's got an absolute cannon. The dude is he's a really good player.
Yeah.
I think they're a pretty formidable opponent, along with the Chiefs. I think again, you're just going to see a Bills Chiefs kind of AFC Championship type style. Like you're going to see them duke it out for a couple of years now. NFC is a whole different picture because again, the homer in me, like that fairy tale ending in my head wants to happen, right? Like where you have this absolute drama filled preseason, the off season too, and you get Aaron Rodgers to actually come back. You got Aaron Jones coming back. You got Devontae Adams there. You got all these key pieces from a team that could have easily done it if they just, maybe executed twice. I think is like what really set them back was like 2 times where you think about it, like they would have definitely made it in if they did 2 things differently, which is again really fortunate to say like, wow, if your team only did 2 things right, you would make it there. That's pretty good. Normally you go through a long list of things of why you don't make it. So that'll be interesting. So I think I want to say the Packers would be my NFC favorite. But
Homer.
With that being said, the Buccaneers, dude, they I think what's so dangerous about them is they could come out for 2 or 3 quarters and just blank the scoreboard. Like they could put up nothing, and then you just got a guy that has how many 7 rings now?
Yeah
He just is like, okay, Chris Godwin, go down the field, or okay, Gronk, do a tight end post, okay, or here Antonio Brown
Gronk having 2 touchdowns, that was
crazy.
I mean, I shouldn't be surprised at this point.
The duo, the 100th touchdown between Brady and Gronk was the second one. The first one was 99, and then the second one was 100. So I don't know where that ranks them in like duos, but it's still pretty impressive how long they've been in the league and stuff. But I think I really do think it might be a rematch of everything from last year, just because you have all 4 of those teams have huge returning, amounts of players.
Their ceilings
like everything.
are there.
Yeah. And so, but I really don't know. There could be a sleeper team somewhere. Like at the top of my head, I can't think of one. The Titans could probably put up a pretty good thing because all they got to do is just feed Derrick Henry. The guy can do 200.
Throw it up to Julio.
Yeah, like 200. He could easily pump out like 220 yards rushing every other game, and they'd win. Like it's just you run the football, you run the football well. I feel like you have a strong chance of beating teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
But what about the NFC West and the South?
South with the Buccaneers. I thought that's kind of where we're thinking. And then I want to say Rams win that division, like the West, and then I don't want to, because Seattle and you got Russell Wilson to DK, but I don't know. I would think it's around there, like Rams, and then probably another team making the wild card. And then you got 3, because you could have 3 from that division realistically making the playoffs.
I sadly don't think the Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals do. I like Kyler Murray and is it Edmonds? I can't think of his first name. I think those 2 are like the quarterback running back duo there. But Seattle, you have that matchup, right? You have Russell Wilson, Wilson and DK Metcalf. They are when they're on and they're clicking, they're up there with like Rodgers and Devontae type of like, effectiveness because you get DK to just run. Like the guy is, I don't think I've ever seen anybody sprint down somebody from like their own 10-yard line to like the other 10-yard line and beat him when the guy had like a 9-yard lead. Like that's just
that was
something
nuts.
that like that just solidified the fact that dude is fast. Like I don't think anybody else could say otherwise because of that. But I think you're right with the Rams winning, but I think it's another fist fight. I don't think the teams from there come out with a significantly huge win percentage. It's going to be maybe 2 or 3 games over 500, and that might seal the deal, like a 12-4 or 11-5 kind of style.
Is how like Matt Stafford fits into the Rams offense now.
Yeah,
they have a guy that puts up crazy numbers year after year.
He's really good. Like I know he throws a lot of picks, but he
gets overshadowed really good quarterback being in the NFC North. I feel like for a long time, and he's they're. I hate to say this about the Lions, but I mean they're always kind of chasing. Like they're playing catch up. So I feel it
feels like they're already playing in the third quarter.
Yeah,
like it's just like they're behind, and that's unfortunate because they did have really good prospects and players like Matthew Stafford still. Yeah, and what happened to his career, and you have the same thing with Barry Sanders, and like not being able to play for a long time because you just don't foresee success. Like that's tough, but I think in the NFC South, you said you're right. Buccaneers. I think you're gonna, which is so weird. Because like 3 years ago, you said the Buccaneers winning the NFC South. You're like, are you crazy? It's Drew Brees and the Saints South to win, right? Like what?
Yeah.
What's
Jameis going to look like this year? Is it going to be, 2 interceptions for every touchdown?
They have that in 1 game. I know that for sure because they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. They're not efficient when they have that. So it'll be fun. But I think those 4 that I said before about like NFC, AFC. Championship. Yeah. I don't want to predict a Super Bowl. I don't think.
No,
but I think those 4 are they're just too good. Like they're definitely like when you pick March Madness, right? Like you're like, oh, let's have all the 1 seeds in the final 4, right? And like that always works. I feel like that's like your safe thing. Like okay, they're gonna the worst team is gonna be like 12-4, if that. And that's probably going to be the Packers because they're going to have to beat up in the NFC North, and then you have to go play. Brady or have to go play wherever. But
I hate how invested now as I get just with like I feel like I don't have time as it is, and now it's like, well, it's football Sunday, right? Like stare at your phone, your fantasy app, and
right. Just
stay
keep
up
refreshing. You just like scrolling it up and down
red zone. Yeah, that's one thing I like here is I don't know if we'll get a Fox game at noon, because if we don't, we most assuredly will get the Browns Chiefs at 3:25, and that's on CBS. So hopefully Sunday ticket work. And the thing is, you can check now, but we'll get the Kyler games with Arizona typically, and you look at those markets. Like they have like those maps of what games are shown where, and a lot of times it'll show up, right? There's a little pocket in Central Oklahoma that gets the Cardinals game, and everybody else gets something else. And
I feel like we were talking about that, like the blackouts that Oklahoma gets for like sports. It's just crazy.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that the other night.
Yeah, was that a trivia?
Yeah, because
we were talking about that. Yeah,
because there's 5 teams that get blacked out on MLB TV. For Oklahoma, and that's the Cardinals, the Royals,
the Astros, one of them.
Cardinals, Royals, Astros, Rangers. Cardinals, Royals, Astros, Rangers. So 4 teams.
Crazy because those, the 4 closest teams to the state is the Rockies.
Nearly a third. I'd say probably a third of the games that you could watch in a night, right? Like max 15 games. Just about a third of them you can't watch.
Yeah.
In a city in a state that doesn't have a
professional base,
like a major league baseball team. They have, which is ridiculous to me because, the Brewers played the Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
That last series, and I was like, yeah, like I'll turn it on, in the background while I'm like doing homework or whatever, and I
You
couldn't because it's
thought.
blacked out. Yeah, and like that's just one thing that needs to change among many
Yeah, it
in
definitely
baseball.
does.
Is
It's crazy.
like even if they could work out deals with local, because I understand it, right? Like the local places aren't benefiting then if you're paying for MLB TV to stream your team's game being, in the same state, let's say, right? But
Mhm.
like there's got to be a way to restructure deals that they get a large percentage of it. And then, MLB just kind of takes it's not a loss because, you're growing the game, but you miss out on that money, I guess, instead
Yeah.
of at the sake of growing the game or letting everybody be able to watch it and
Yeah.
make money off the advertising and like all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
man, it sucks. Like it's nice being far enough away that you don't get blacked out living there with MLB TV, right? Like if we're both in Wisconsin or like you
Mhm.
close to the Cubs market, then that's a different story. But here it's like, yeah, most of the games I'll be able to watch, but then it's those few when they, play interleague with the Royals or those division battles with the Cardinals, and it's like, well, come on,
Yeah. It's just you never really think that like we're in such a technologically advanced age where you get stuff blacked out. And you hit it right on the head about we're in a state that doesn't have a major league a major league team, right? We have AAA,
Yeah.
AA affiliates, but how do you
But
expect anybody from the state to even support watching baseball when what you said, a third of the games available that night are blacked out? And like
yeah,
unless you have MLB TV or unless you have a streaming service that can broadcast non-local channels
yeah,
and
or if
get
you have
like
cable.
ESPN, like
Mhm.
yeah, right? Like how are you expected to even watch? So you miss out on, millions of people, honestly, like millions of people that would be able to watch
Yeah.
something
And
and you're not giving like you can't,
yeah,
you know.
I will also say like, um, you know, no, I forgot what I was gonna say. Like I get blackouts, like, and I get that people can change your VPN, right? Like there's that whole thing, so
Yeah.
you can get whatever Netflix looks like across,
Yeah.
the ocean or whatever. And like, and I've never done that. I just hear of it. That's just an added step that people, if they want to go watch, let's
Yeah.
say they want to go watch the Rangers game instead of driving 3 hours to go there, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's crazy that
Again,
we have to struggle with that.
yeah,
We take it for granted living where we do, though. That's for sure. Like,
yeah,
what I'm gonna miss is being able to turn on Fox 11 and watching the Packers play at noon or wherever. Like that was
yeah.
so easy. Or turning on Fox Sports Network 1, FSN 1 or whatever, just watching the
Mhm.
Brewers or like it sucks.
Yeah.
And two, being close to Chicago. Actually, well, where I was, I never got a Bears game. If they played at the
Really?
same time, different. It was always Green Bay, which is fine. Bears almost
What
always played on CBS anyway.
shit? Minor shifting gears here. What do
Yep.
you think of? Did you see the whole thing with Robbie Ray and the Orioles yesterday?
No, I did not. No,
Um,
inform me.
Essentially, Robbie Ray. I don't know the whole thing, but the Orioles were kind of just like talking, like chirping him from the dugout, and it looked like the
Yeah.
manager. And because that they thought that the Orioles had their signs, right? Like, and I don't know what all transpired. I just saw a brief clip, but like if you're in a position with the Orioles, right? Like you are 46 and 94.
Hmm.
Does that still give you the right? Like, does the game change because of the records of the teams playing, or is the game the same and the Orioles can still, be as they would at the end of April if they're sitting 5 games over? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
because
and I think, well, if you want to
no,
continue, because I was gonna give my response.
I was done.
Okay, I think it's the same lines as the Tatis homer. Being up 7 runs over the seventh, and I think it's like you can't expect another team to coddle you or baby you and like feel bad. Like you have to play that full kind of intensity as you were if you were 100 and you were winning 105 games that season, right? Like, yeah, I think you have to. There's that like subconscious thing where, yeah, oh God, we're, whatever, 46 and 94. Jeez, kind of we got to watch our tone, right? Just play our game, right? But like, there's you did take 46 games away from another team or like the other, the rest of the teams in the league. So there's something you can say to that. But I never like the mentality of like giving up or like going easy because either like the team wasn't as good or like something like that. Like you play to your fullest potential. Like you have the gift to play, like do it.
Yeah.
Don't like let up that gift and let up that intensity because someday you're never going to be able to play it again. Someday you're going to lose love for the game and it's going to, there's going to be a hole where that was and you're going to reflect upon that. It's like, well, did I really give it 100% every time? Or like, did I dog myself sometimes or did I, kind of slow it down? So I don't know. I think if to go back to the initial question, like just play the game as you would if it was opening day on the last day of the season, right? Like you play with that same enthusiasm. And when you can't do that anymore, that's when it's time to make a change. That's my 2 cents. That's what else.
Very preaching. It'd be different if it was the players too, right? Like, but the manager that's like giving him a bunch of crap to a guy who's making a Cy Young push here with his last couple starts. And like the Orioles too, like Cedric Mullins is having a great season and he's going to push for 30-30, I think. Yeah, I mean, he's got 28 bombs and 28 bags stolen. So like he's still going for himself there. He's like leading all the categories. He leads in average, home runs, stolen bases, runs, on base percentage, slugging, obviously OPS, then hits, doubles, walks. Like,
so what you're saying is he's the team's best hitter this year. You're saying team stats, or were you saying league stats?
No, team. I'm saying he's having a good year, and like, you only win 46 times. Like, what are you playing for, right? Like, it's got to be individual, and like, I would think, right? Like, it's.
I think you play for the paycheck at that point, right? Like, how are you going to make the most money the next season, or like putting yourself out there? So like, I'm sure I don't know what Cedric Mullins' like contract is looking at right now, but having his numbers from a team that isn't doing as successful, that shows people. It's like what you do as a seller, right? Like, okay, you got a guy that's going off. How much value does he have now? Like that's when I think the game turns into the money, is when you have these teams that are, they don't even get to 50 wins or whatever. They got the stud on the team and they're like, well, okay, what can we get for him to try to, because clearly, even though him succeeding is great, it's still not producing us, 80, 90 wins, right? Like, we need more. And I think there's like that, that inevitable like thirst for like, okay, well, we got this really good guy. Let's try to get the most out of him. If that means like he gets us a 30-30, recognition, and then we trade him, and then we, sell him or whatever, like, get the most out of him. I think that's what it turns into that.
Looks like he's got 3 years of arbitration, team control next year, and then 3 years of arbitration, and then unrestricted when he turns 31. But yeah, again, like in a division in the AL East where you have the Blue Jays who are making a really nice push, and they're young and they have, they get a guy like Nate Pearson, let's say, to come up and kill it and be that young ace for them. And Robbie Ray too. And you got guys, if their pitching improves, like they're lethal. So not counting the Orioles out, but in a rebuild, right? Like Cedric Mullins is 26. I see a guy that's going to be there for the rebuild, and then he's going to be 30 by the time they're competitive in the division, like for the pennant, or is it going to be okay, well, let's try to get somebody's farm system and build that way. And I think that's always a tough thing for front offices too, especially like if you drafted him over, like, I don't know if they drafted him. Let me look quick. Cedric Mullins, great MLB The Show card, by the way.
Amazing swing. Love. I think I hit some of the best of all the best players. I think I hit with him. So
was drafted in 2015 in the 13th round by the Orioles. So again, a guy that's been in the organization his whole career, having a breakout year on a team that hasn't eclipsed 50 wins yet is pretty impressive. And they got Adley Rutschman coming up. They have guys that they can do some damage with, and I'm just excited to see like the wild card. Both wild cards could be a final day thing, and that's always exciting for baseball.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
I think those are the coolest. Cincinnati, they make movies out of that stuff, right? Yeah. Like that's the stuff you hear about, like movies, right? That's the cool stuff about baseball. It's like, get us a movie.
It's nuts, right? Like Boston is one up on the Yankees for the first wild card spot. Yankees have the second one right now. Toronto's half a game back. The A's are a game back, and the Mariners are a game back. Like that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that within the span of a series, like depending on who could be a part of those 2 spots. And then in the NL you have San Diego and the Reds that are tied, and then 3.5, 4 back for the Cardinals, Phillies, and Mets. So it could happen.
It's nuts. It could, and it's crazy because it looks like it's going to happen. Just the way things are turning out, and make for an exciting postseason.
Yep,
I hope.
I hope so as well. We'll wrap it up there. I know we're kind of adjusting to school schedules and stuff. I know I'm kind of just exhausted trying to figure out what I need to do by when and catch up on this book and do that and this and that. And I'm sure you're right there. So hopefully everyone's getting into their routines for school or staying with it with work and everything. And you didn't see this yet, did you? Did you see Last Chance U basketball season 2 going back to ELAC?
Let's go. Shout out John Mosley. That's right. Shout out.
So
that's awesome. I'll be looking forward to that. Yeah.
But
excited to watch that.
All right. Well, hopefully your first weekend of NFL football was fantastic. Your teams won. Not every team can win, but hopefully yours did.
Shout out to Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Shout out to Amari Cooper. Auto draft. We love that. I do.
All right. We'll catch you next week.
Yep. Peace.